Hello, and welcome back to the PatricksGreenTea podcast. Happy New Year, everybody. This marks the end of the first year of the show's existence as a legitimate podcast. I hope this show was a tiny ray of light for you guys during this past hellish year. It certainly was for me. During this episode, I got distracted while trying to recall a saying I saw online. It went something like, the coronavirus is suddenly more contagious at 9 o'clock. That was in response to my state shutting down restaurants at 9. I also mentioned that I've got some guests in the work for this show. And as of last night, I actually got an additional exciting guest who will possibly be coming on to talk with me. We might even do something a little different, who knows. All I'll say is that they run a prominent and very unique Grateful Dead fan page. Stick around until the later part of the episode when I show off a bizarre audio effect. That's it, and I hope you enjoy the episode. You're going to have to forgive me this episode. I picked a bad spot to start. There's going to be cars. I'm kind of stuck with cars this whole time, unfortunately. I mean, that's not true. Hang on. I'm like spacing out so hard. I'm also talking through a mask, so it's kind of hard to tell. That guy's not wearing a mask, so I think I'm in the clear as long as I do the little ear dangle, the earring, as they call it. I forgot who called it that. It was some like older musician, like an 80s hair metal star or something. I forgot who. But anyway, maybe it was a family member. Who knows? But also there's leaves because it's fall. Or it's past fall, I guess, at this point. Almost, at least. Okay, so I guess this is like the height of fall. But the leaves are definitely turning. Like, instead of to color, just away from just the vibrancy they had earlier, like a month ago, and just dying, leaves falling everywhere, and then like, you know, you're sort of like, oh shit, it's already over. But I mean, I did a lot of driving this fall, so that was nice. It was something I missed the last two falls being in Manhattan. But yeah, it was nice to see the leaves change and the evolution of that cycle. Right now I'm in a downtown little area, and it is quiet in the middle because like it's dead at night pretty much. I just want to take no, I'm gonna leave the mask on. It's dead at night because like just nothing's open, and it's just there's one car, two cars. Putting on a mask with one hand is difficult. Yeah, it's gonna be noisy. No, I'm walking towards the noise. I'm gonna walk back in the middle of the town. Just about, how long is this recording? Hang on, I have to open my phone up to 3 minutes. What the fuck? Anyway, like 5 minutes ago, maybe a little longer. There was a path I was walking down, and it was not quite dusk yet, so none of the lamps were on except the way down here to this little walkway near a river, all paved and everything. Yeah, paved, I guess. There was no light, and it was just annoying. It was really dark, especially under the bridge you have to go to get through it there. And it's a highway bridge, so it's like several lanes wide. But anyway, we're back, baby. This is the first podcast being recorded in a while. Just excuse the leaves. I think I'm not even gonna edit this. I could and make this like pristine, but I like the unedited quality of it. Unless it's something that's really like, it really obscures what you're trying to hear. And I do get rid of those, or like long silences, because there's nothing of value there, you know. You'll follow exactly the pace of my thoughts, but like when I'm high, they just go so slowly sometimes. Like a little earlier, I felt there was a pause, but it was just me trying to like process something or like think of something. And it was just hard for me in that moment. And then what happened was, I just didn't say anything, and that's just like, how are you possibly going to get into my head in that moment? Anyway, what time is it? It's kind of early, so yeah, it's 5:37. Why does it feel so dead? Maybe during the daytime it would be, I don't know what to think. It's like a barber shop that's closed, law offices, like antique shops. There's one place that's open I'm walking by right now. I don't know what it is. But it's 5:37. Like, it's depressing enough that that nighttime happens so quickly now. With daylight savings and everything. But it's even worse that just nothing's open. You're like stuck in your house. You know, add that onto the whole pandemic situation. Yeah, the pandemic situation. You're already kind of depressed and stuck inside. You don't need more reasons to be. I guess that's causing everything to shut down early. I know fast food isn't open until, geez, I don't even know. Or isn't, let me rephrase that. Fast food has to be shut down at like 9 in my state. So it's like, I don't know, there's this joke that's going around. It's just like, fuck, I lost my train of thought. I just had a weird memory that I haven't even thought of in a long ass time, going to a pawn shop. I forgot I even went in there. God, man, it was a different time of my life. Anyway, I don't even know what I was saying. I'm also walking towards traffic. So yeah, haven't done a podcast in a long time. I'm excited to do it. Some obstacles, and not obstacles, but just like something that caused me to record, or I guess not be able to record. God, my sentences are just awful tonight. Fuck. Alright, I'm just gonna start over a new thought. I'm sorry about the other ones that they're just not gonna be recoverable, unfortunately. Like a hard drive that you don't eject and just yank out of the USB port. Well, that was a lovely sound of a truck. I'm gonna sample that. Anyway, I'm gonna try to head back the way I came, even though it's really fucking spooky. Hopefully the lights are on by now. I forgot to bring my knife, which sucks. Anyway, the quality of this high. I tried to listen to 2 songs. I just couldn't. It was just too much. No, I shouldn't say that. I liked it. It's just, it was You Enjoy Myself by Trey Anastasio, however you pronounce his name. And the introduction, the prelude, is such a long instrumental, and then after like fucking 10-11 minutes it goes into this really funky jam type thing. But I'm more interested in the jam type stuff. You know, if you're gonna have an intro, make it shorter. Although, I don't know, it just wasn't interesting enough to grab me. It was like modern classical, you know, which is it was a bunch of violins and stuff. Which, I mean, you had a bunch of violins at the Beacon Theater, might as well use them, but for like a more orchestral song. But I'm smoking sativa tonight, so I mean, it's not really matching my vibe, if you know what I mean. Anyway, I forgot the other song I was listening to. It was a good one. But anyway, talk to the mask again. No, there's stuff I did want to talk about. I did want to talk about today. Not necessarily going into the podcast thinking that I wanted to talk about them, but as I was talking, just like, oh my god, there's so much I could say right now. A lot has happened between the last podcast and this. I don't remember when I recorded it relative to what actually happened in my life, so I don't know what you guys are already up to speed about. But the doc work is really cool. I'm kind of going farther in both the podcast domain and in the wait, what did I just say? What domain? The podcast domain? Whatever. I'm gonna let me clarify. I'm doing better in the podcast domain and in the documentary domain at the same time, and for different reasons, I guess, but they all feel connected because I'm just making further advances in the Grateful Dead community, and like getting to talk to people I never thought I would be able to, and getting cool opportunities like this band that I'm doing the doc on, I think I mentioned, wants me to be a saxophonist for them, and maybe that was the point where you guys left off. So there's been further developments on that. Hang on, spooky vibes. Oh yeah, so the developments are I pulled out this like 100-year-old saxophone from like early in my development. It was the first instrument I played, I think. Yeah, wow. That's weird. In 5th grade, where everything was just literally the fundamentals of playing an instrument, like blowing a note, things like that. And it's cool, I think. Oh, okay, hang on. I'm not going to end the note on that. The lights are still not on, so it's dark as shit, but I'm going to go through the bridge anyway. I'm going to take my mask off for this and actually take an earbud out, so I have full range of hearing. The acoustics of the under parts of a bridge. There's like rocks everywhere, so they look like something that's going to move, either an animal or a tent or something like that. It's not matching my vibe right now. But anyway, it's gonna be louder soon, so I definitely don't want to stick around right here. The band asked. Okay, I was back at the saxophone thing. This sax is really old, and I love the way it looks. It's just such a cool looking like artifact from another time. But then on top of that, I just tried it out, and it sounds way better than I remember. I quit it because it was I guess it was tuned differently. Apparently, like, there are these things called the E flat saxophones that were like a novelty for like a very short period of time, but then this might be one of those. I don't know about E flat though, because it was only like a few semitones up from where the normal sax tuning is, I guess B flat. So I played this thing. It sounded way better than I remember. I tried one time in college, I guess earlier in college I should say, and it did not go well. I didn't really have a practice space, so I couldn't do it right. I ended up just doing straight up performance at Washington Square Park and just like hoping I could improv something and make something sound good, and it kind of worked, but it was just so demoralizing a little bit because just no one cared, and it wasn't the music I knew, so I didn't really have anything down. It was just pure, like, no beats, no nothing. So anyway, I actually ended up listening to songs, having them play in the background, and then just improv over that, and that's been super successful. Like really successful, surprisingly so. Because like just listening to a song and just kind of like knowing where the key was, you could guess what part of the octave you're on, and then sort of guesstimate between there, just test out new notes. More often than not, just hitting the right one, and if not, just going back to the one you know. I love this process of just like learning an instrument. And I thought, because like I was kind of plateauing on the guitar again, and this time like there's not much that could like really push it to another level. I think I'm kind of stuck right now until I start learning some crazy new shit, or like trying some crazy new shit with the sax just effortlessly. I am getting really good at it really quickly, and that's just awesome. It's an awesome feeling. So I'm very happy to be the on-call saxophonist for this band. You guys will definitely hear from them either soon, or you will have already listened to them as guests on the podcast, because I plan on having them as guests soon, and that might release before this episode releases. But in my timeline, it hasn't happened yet. And also I was thinking that, speaking of that, podcasts are less so like this, but I noticed that editing is editing is basically like playing with time and rhythm and everything, but mostly just the like time, the way it flows, like just cutting back and forth and having parallel narratives and parallel editing. It's pretty wild. Oh yeah, I forgot. I need to put my phone on airplane mode, because if someone calls me, I'm fucked. Currently, at least. Boom. That could have been bad. I haven't been checking my phone. Oh shit, alright. I need to head home, I think. So unfortunately, you guys are going to have to deal with traffic. But on the bright side, it was a good episode so far. All 20 minutes of it. Not even. Okay. Wait, I have no idea what I'm... Okay, yeah. Alright. So, by the time I get back to my car, it'll be an hour. And that's where I kind of want to be. I think it's going to wear... My high is going to wear off by then. But I'll still be like kind of dead. Although maybe when I get back to my car, I'll continue the podcast. And enjoy the fact that it's in a soundproof-ish little closed space. But what got me on the topic of the time thing, going back to that, was my friend gave me his loop pedal. He used to use it for his electric cello, but then he just never used it, I guess. So he ended up just giving it to me, and I've been using it a lot. Not recently, but I used it one night where I would loop my guitar playing and then play sax over that, and that was just so awesome. Just like how useful the loop pedal is with just guitar. It applies the same way to sax, maybe more so, because I don't know, because guitar, I guess, in either situation is going to be a full chords and a driving rhythm, like percussive beat. But on saxophone, when you're just learning like scales and you just loop 2 chords or something, it's really helpful, especially when those chords are like fun and it's a scale you need to work on, like E. I think I have E, thankfully. I think I have E, but E minor and all the minors I don't have. Alright. Traffic's gonna get really bad really quick. Oh well. I'll try to talk as close to the mic as I can get and face the mic away. My mask is gonna frickin' fly off in the wind. Okay. Okay, I feel like we're stalling a little bit. I had a lot of hopes for this episode, stuff I wanted to say, then immediately I forgot them. But I don't know, I feel like there's an anxiety that I have to make huge statements and stuff. Like there's really big things to say. When I think at the end of the day, I don't think I learned anything or did anything life-changing these past few weeks, but I don't know. Now I've just talked myself into a weird mindset. Let's try to get out of that and stay with the enthusiasm, which I'm trying to remember what I was so enthusiastic about earlier. I'm enthusiastic about these car noises. They really make me happy. I'm totally not sarcastic. There's a car with no lights on. Oh, I just turned his blinker on. That doesn't count though. Anyway. It's been hard to it has been hard to what? I don't even know what I was gonna say. I don't want to be weirdly bitter. I guess what I was worried about tonight was having to, or feeling like I was kind of compressing this, and this didn't really need to happen this high. And I feel kind of irresponsible by getting high, as opposed to the working on the mountain of homework that I have for myself. It's less of a mountain than last week, but now that I have all of Tuesday is going to be nixed, or whatever you want to call it, because I'm doing a recording session. And I asked my therapist to move our appointment. He just moved it up an hour. So like now I have even less sleep. I guess I get to talk to him, but like I would have preferred a time when I wasn't freaking needing sleep. A night before an assignment was due or something, or 2 nights before. So that's tomorrow night. So I knew I wasn't going to get anything recreational done that night. But crossing the road, or the street, as the kids say. Yeah, I mean, that was back to the listening to the music. I think Trey and Fish are promising, but it just doesn't grab me, you know? Like, I respect it. I totally respect it. It just doesn't grab me. I imagine when you're in a full concert venue with like these super reverberant acoustics, then that must change the equation a bit. Plus the light shows they do, I think, are incredible from what I've seen. Like, they pride themselves in the concert experience, you know, as opposed, less so the music and more so the experience, I would say. They do put a lot of effort into the music, but it's just not like, it's not nearly as, God, it's so loud. It's not nearly as poetic as the Grateful Dead lyrics. Either, both the lyrics and the melodies and things, way more poetic than the other one, and much much more beautiful, although that's a really subjective term. I can't wait to get back to my car. But on the topic of feeling irresponsible for that whole thing, I think I do need me time, and I've been trying to really work hard on scheduling around the times when I'm going to smoke weed for sure. Like, I guess I don't have to smoke weed any of these times, but the most likely scenarios where the setting is really good, I feel really safe, things like that I don't have anything going on, or I've already blocked out the time. So I'm trying not to smoke 2 days in a row is the main thing. That's kind of tricky. Maintaining a reasonable cadence. It's a waterfall. It's not natural at all, but it's a waterfall. I finally got the last band member interview done, in terms of the ones I was doing over Skype/Zoom, primarily Zoom, but they went well. I think they just took a long time to wrap up, because there were more people every week that the leader of the band was sending me their contact info for. But it's like I don't know how you're gonna include sufficiently all these different people into one doc. I feel like I would have to concentrate on who's most involved and who's usually present. Which you can objectively say which ones are more the core members who really were there every performance. All the way down to the people who played with them one time. The problem is there's one guy who only played with them one time who I just had better access to. But the thing is, I still do have that access. It wasn't even like it was that particular day, which I thought it was. Anyways, he was really cool. And he helps out with the band even after his first time playing with them. But the thing is that he only got really introduced to this band as a member, or as someone that Dan picked. He was only introduced later on in the band's life, I guess, recently. So to me, what I really think is cool is that I think the future of this guy is going to be with the band. The future of this guy definitely will involve the band somehow. And the future of the band will involve him, I guess is a better way of putting it. So, I have Swedish fish that I brought, but I can't really eat those and talk at the same time. They're just teeth cement. I'm going to really hate editing this, because I can't even tell that these are silences. They're just cars. They're just noise. So there's also all this all these leaves. And I've been kind of holding on to my mask earring. This whole time. Jesus, man. Now I know, though, there's a place closer to the downtown that is more quiet and parkable. Because I was worried I I couldn't think of any places to park. But that is okay. We figured it out. I really want like a McDonald's thing. Like a small McDonald's thing. Maybe I should do it. Pretty sure you can walk in still. Wendy's is drive-through only, but I remember delivering from McDonald's and then being open on the inside. They might close early or something, I don't know. Look at the rules. Alright, hang on. Hello. I just went to a McDonald's and picked up a shake. When I stopped the podcast, I thought maybe I should give him a little more. Give me a little more. Oh, I don't know if you guys have seen, there's this dude who he made a video where he had all this like chocolate and ice cream melted over his face. You just see his eyes and his like teeth. He was talking about like gummy bears versus gummy worms and how gummy bears are a scam and they give you less gummy for the same price. But he says it all in the Heath Ledger Joker voice. Gummy worms. It was just so I liked it. I enjoyed it. I keep pulling on this wire. I'm trying to keep this in front of me and not hitting my jacket. I should use DClicker on that noise. There's a software called DClicker in Pro Tools where it gets rid of all of the clicks in speech. I don't know what it detects as a click, but you can do this thing where you analyze a piece of audio and then you output the clicks only. So then it's just like sci-fi horror, just wet biological, just grossness. It's like just really disgusting. Not even like, yeah, because it turns into this like wet thing. Wet but like bouncy and fleshy. It's just so weird. I don't like it. But I think if you were to use it in a way that was like disturbing, I think it would be really effective. Alright, Patrick from the future here. I just wanted to show you guys what it sounded like when you put audio through this processing and you only take out the clicks. It's like I'm still not really sure what like the benefit of removing or adding clicks is, but here's audio without the processing. It is like a journal that you share with people, though at least this style of podcast. And here's audio with only the clicks. Yeah, I'm really weirded out too. Now back to your regularly scheduled programming. See, this audio is much better than the previous 20 minutes of this thing. There's something in my shoe. It's annoying. Oh, there's a new bar and grill that's opening. Unless it was just taken down because it's completely empty in there. Who knows? These places are going out of business left and right. It's really sad. I haven't been out much, so I haven't really seen. I haven't seen any restaurants really fail. There's one near an airport that went under, and it was kind of sad. But it wasn't like the greatest food in the world. It was kind of expensive, but it was just next to an airport. You know, you could see planes taking off and landing. It was cool. Alright. Let's see how far we are on this thing. My hands are frozen and can barely move. 36. Alright, we're gonna cut it real soon. But yeah. Thanks for hopping on the the Patrick's Green Tea train or plane, because we're hearing a plane right now. Thanks for following me along on the journey. Like I said, nothing life-changing happened this week, but it was still... Actually, no, I don't even know why I said that. Literally, like 10 minutes before, I was telling you about all these opportunities. This I'll say semi-famous musician in the Grateful Dead community saw the name of the podcast's Instagram page and said that he would love to talk about weed and the dead on a podcast. So I messaged him later and asked if he was. I said that I won't be free for the next month, but if you're serious, we should schedule something like in December. And he reacted to it. He didn't say anything. He just liked it. But that was enough to know that it's like possible. So we got that going on. We got another guy that is Joey Spills' friend from England, who we might have on. But that's another thing. I just need to be less busy then I can have more podcast guests. But as of right now, it's not really going to happen. Unless it was with this band, then that'd be pretty cool. I'm already having these great memories with just being around these guys, and like little gaffes that I've made. That I don't know. They're just fun and kind of cute to look back on. I'm excited to graduate. I want to be able to be back in summer mode again. And this, I guess, was just like a little epilogue of my college experience. But this epilogue has been the most relevant, I think. The rest of college was kind of just like messing around, really. Because like I didn't get too much out of my classes. It was just like stuff that was good to know or like fun to know, but it wouldn't apply in terms of getting money. I don't know. It was nice to have a class devoted to jazz, stuff like that. Because now I actually know who John Coltrane is and who Bird is, and that I think is worth more than money in some ways. Like I wouldn't sell that for anything. Sorry, we're like transitioning here. It's a peaceful transition of power, as they don't say currently in Washington. That's not even in as they say one. Anyway, I'm gonna be leaving soon because I have to get back, start working again. But thank you. And on the way down, I'm gonna listen to some tunes. Don't know what. Definitely something funky. Thank you again, and have a lovely day, as they say, as I say at the end of every episode. It'll come. Like if you listen to the end of this, you'll hear it. Maybe. Probably. It's classified. Alright, bye everybody. Hello. Thanks for listening to the podcast. You can find me at Patrick's Green Tea on Patreon, Discord, Spotify, YouTube, Twitch, and Bandcamp, Patrick's Green Tea Podcast on Instagram, and Patrick Green Tea without an S on Twitter. The show is available wherever you get your podcasts. Supplemental materials like photos and text are available on our website, patricksgreentea.com. You can join our subreddit at r/patricksgreentea. You can make comments on YouTube and on the website, and you can contact me directly at patricksgreentea@gmail.com. Don't forget to leave a review of the show on your favorite podcasting platform. It really helps us out. Thank you so much and have a lovely day.